This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Even as trade unions announce a statewide strike tomorrow, State Transport Minister assured that the buses will operate normally. Is Captain looking for more bargaining power? Vijay Kant goes on an enrollment drive as over 1,000 people from other parties join the DMDK.
இவங்களுக்கு ஓட்டு போட்டா தான் சார் கதி. இங்க இருக்கிற தமிழர்களுக்கே ஒண்ணும் இல்லங்கும்போது அங்க உள்ள தமிழர்கள் எப்படி இந்த அரசாங்கம் காப்பாத்தாது?
Fishing for vote, it seems, in Nagapattinam. Amma hits out at the Prime Minister, asks for him to step down if he can't handle the situation.
The central government should act decisively and issue a stern warning to Sri Lanka in such a manner that Sri Lanka does not dare to attack our fishermen again.
Gas leak in Puducherry chemical plant sends 30 to the hospital. Chief Minister orders factory shutdown. Cheran is the latest to make the big switch from directing to acting, and he seems to have impressed the superstar Rajni.
எவ்வளவு பெரிய வில்லன் குரூப் இருந்தாலும் தனி ஒரு ஆளா போய் சாதிச்சிடுவார் அப்படின்ற மாதிரியான ஒரு ஜோடனைகள் இல்லாத ஒரு யதார்த்தமான ஒரு கேரக்டர் தான் அந்த படம்.
A very good evening and welcome to News Tonight with me, Ashmit. Let's have a look at top stories coming in from across the country. 7 people are arrested for burning alive a district collector trying to film kerosene pilfering. The public prosecutor says important people could be involved. Some of India's most prominent artists write to the Prime Minister protesting the imprisonment of Binayak Sen. Montek says diesel prices must be hiked and petrol taxes can't be cut. Forecasts that food inflation will be down to single digits by mid-March. Leander Pace and Mahesh Bhupathi enter the semi-finals of the Australian Open after a well-fought win. The Rafa Slam dream comes to an end as fellow Spaniard David Ferrer beats Nadal in straight sets in the quarterfinals. And again in the top story, a few trade unions operating in the FTC have decided to go on a strike tomorrow. Now the trade unions have announced this strike demanding a hike in their salary. Now, will it affect you when you travel to your workplace tomorrow? That's the question that we are asking. Well, if the words of K.N. Nehru, the Minister for Road Transportation, are anything to go by, there is little reason to worry. He has assured that buses will operate normally across the state. Now, amongst the more vociferous unions likely to go on a strike tomorrow are the CIPU, the ATP, the DMDK, the MLF, MDMK, AITUC and the TPSF. But sources are telling us that ruling party union employees will be on duty. Now, transportation is expected to be affected marginally tomorrow. Now, our reporter Salim has been tracking those updates to bring to you to get a better sense of what you can expect tomorrow morning when you go to work. And for more on that, let's go back to our reporter Salim, who's joining us live over the phone line. Now, Salim, again, a quick word on perhaps what I can expect tomorrow when I come to work here. Again, when I'm looking for a bus, what can I expect tomorrow morning?
Ashmit, last time when there was a similar strike, we have read reports that hundreds of school children walked their way back home during peak hours. So there will be some hiccups for the passengers who are prepared to take MTC buses tomorrow. The reason, as you said, trade unions backed by the opposition parties have said that they will go on strike from tomorrow morning. Conductors and drivers of CITU and other trade unions are likely to stay away from work, and this would lead to disruption in bus services. When contacted, the trade unions say that they have been demanding the state government to offer salaries at par with electricity board employees. They say they demanded 40% pay hike, but the government has only announced a nominal salary hike. The employees would be getting an additional salary hike between 2,000 rupees and 4,543 rupees as per the revision, which they say that they are not satisfied and hence that they are going on strike. Ashmit?
Right, Salim. A final word on how severe the impact will be on the strike. Now, we understand that members of the union affiliated to the DMK are not going to participate, so that should act as a support system there. So, how severe will the strike be tomorrow?
Yeah, Ashmit, as a routine affair, when the opposition, when the trade unions backed by the opposition party say that they are going on strike, the trade unions backed by the ruling party will always be in a position to operate the buses. And hence, there will be, the buses will be partially operated. But since several trade unions are going on strike, there will be some hiccups for the passengers who are prepared to take the MTC buses.
Right, Salim. Thanks a lot for joining us and sharing with us all those updates. Let's move ahead now. After Amma and Karnanidhi, it's now Captain who's on an enrollment drive. Now, over 1,000 people are all set to join Vijayakant's DMDK in the city today. And most of these people are from other political outfits. Now, interesting to note that this comes just days after AIADMK Supremo J.J. Lalita had thousands of people joining her party, people from other parties as well as students.
தேர்தல் என்பது ஒரு வாரங்கிறது ஒரு வருஷம் வரை, அதனால பயப்படவே வேண்டாம். மக்களை என்ன நம்புறாங்க, நான் மக்களை நம்புவேன். அது நம்புறதுக்கு டைம் இருக்கு, எவ்வளோ அவங்க என்னை நம்பி இந்த பாருங்க, இந்த இவ்வளோ பெரிய கூட்டத்தை நீங்கள் என்னைக்கு பார்த்தீங்க? அவங்களா கூட்டிகிட்டு வர கூட்டம் கிடையாது, அவங்களா வருவாங்க. நிச்சயமாக நான் செய்வேன். அதான் நான் எல்லாரும் முன்னாடி பகிரங்கமாக தான் பேசுகிறேன், தனிப்பட்டு நான் பயந்துலாம் பேசுகிறேன். எல்லாரும் முன்னாடி பகிரங்கமாக சொன்னேன், என் மக்களை யார் சந்தோஷமாக வச்சுருப்பாங்களோ அன்னைக்கு பார்ப்பேன்.
Well, is the captain adding to his bargaining power? That's the question that we were asking. And Radhika Iyer, our senior editor, joined us to give us more perspective.
This entire enrollment drive which happened on the Republic Day evening, and of course the timing of it is very pertinent considering talks are on between the AIADMK, the main opposition party in Tamil Nadu, as well as talks with other smaller parties that Jayalalitha is likely to align with ahead of the polls. And we do know, and it's an open secret now, that the DMDK is of course one of the contenders to have as many as possible seats during their alliance, and they are at the moment talking to Jayalalitha. We know that a 3-member team from the DMDK as well as from the AIADMK from respective parties have been into informal talks, and Jayalalitha has only said that post Pongal, which is around after the 14th and 15th, is when the actual talks, formal talks of seat sharing will continue. For now, we do hear from sources within the AIADMK that Amma has for the moment given slots of discussion with the smaller parties. Even in the recent press conference, Jayalalitha had very categorically said that yes, Karthik, another actor turned politician, someone who was chief of the former Forward Bloc, again has met with the former chief minister and of course the opposition party leader to try and discuss. But when asked about Vijayakant and the DMDK, she very categorically said no comments in her own very verbose way. That again is an indication that perhaps talks have reached a stalemate. According to our sources from the DMDK, the captain of that and literally the captain of the DMDK is bargaining for nothing short of 50 seats. They're asking for 60 seats, but they do not want to stop short of nothing short of 50 seats. Whereas the AIADMK, according to two theories, say that they'll be either at this moment offering 41 seats to the DMDK or 43. Now that's something that the DMDK is not very happy about. Perhaps this enrollment drive, an idea of the captain of the DMDK to try and put some pressure upon the AIADMK to show his mass base, to show his strength, to show that 1,500 people have joined his party, and so to increase his bargaining power. But according to some other sources who seemed very upbeat, very confident of the prospects of the DMDK in the future in the polls that we're likely to see this summer, they also say that if the talks continue to reach this kind of stalemate, then there's all likelihood that perhaps the DMDK would even choose to lead an alliance. Now, how prospective would that be is a big question mark, but they say that that is a possibility as well.
Well, in some more action from the political spectrum, the recent killings of a Lankan fisherman allegedly by the Lankan Navy is fast turning into a poll plank. And looking to milk this burning issue, Amma took on the leader of the nation, Prime Minister, head on. Now, she slammed the centre, calling the Prime Minister ineffective and demanding his resignation. Now, meanwhile, she also upped the ante on the ruling state government, blaming it for status quo. Now, party's chief Jayalalitha visited the widow of Jayakumar, an AIADMK party member who was allegedly killed by the Lankan Navy. And this was, of course, at a village in Nagapattinam district. And the recent spate of attacks have flared up the tempers in the region, and experts see this move by Amma as an attempt to gain political capital and to woo the fishing community ahead of the elections.
So, central government should act decisively and issue a stern warning to Sri Lanka in such a manner that Sri Lanka does not dare to attack our fishermen again. But that is missing because the central government is weak. The Prime Minister is ineffective.
Well, here's another crucial case. Initial reports point at involvement of people in positions of power in the killing of the district collector in Malegaon. We get you the details up on the other side.